Hey guys, I'm Kyle Lint. Today we're going to take a look at Holy is Our God. And I'm going to kind of walk through the parts of the song for you and then play the whole song so you can see it. Sound wise, it's super easy on this song. That'll kind of be the theme for honestly this whole record. Sounds are very, very simple. I'm using the pad setting that I use on my Big Sky a whole lot. It's a really lush uh, reverb that's set to a bloom, so it kind of ducks out of the way while I'm playing, and then kind of blooms up after. Um, the delay I have on my timeline is a dual delay that does ping pong delay, kind of back and forth. I have two main programs that I use that do that. One I call ping narrow, it's not super wide. It's kind of more 10 and 2 panning, and then my ping wide one is like very far left and right. So I'm on the ping narrow on this one. Um, on my Eventide H9, I have a program that I made called Micro Shift, and this is something that I do in the studio a lot. And basically, what it's doing is it's actually delaying one side of the signal, left or right side. I can't remember which it does here, just a little bit. And the purpose of that is if you've got a mono signal coming in, or if you have, as I do, the exact 2 amps, the exact same amp coming in, it can sound very mono, very just like up the center. And so if you delay one side of it, or both sides a little bit, it actually gives you this width of what it sounds like. So I'm going to show you that sound really briefly, just so you can kind of hear what that sounds like. And when I say delay, I don't mean like what you're used to, a delay, trail. It's a single delay, so there's no feedback on it. In other words, and it's in the I don't remember what this one is set to, but it's in the 8 to 15 millisecond range. I mean, it's very, very minor. So you don't actually process it as a delayed sound. So for example, here's just a quick little chord without it, with it turned off. Now let me turn that on. And hopefully what you hear is that sort of mono sounding guitar kind of becomes a little bit stereoized. So again, that's done by just putting a very, very short delay in the less than 20 millisecond range on one side of the guitar. Okay, so that's kind of the sound that I'm using for this song. I think I stay on that patch the entire song. So Holy is Our God is kind of a hymn, sort of a sounding song. So there's some pretty specific parts that that I play throughout. The hook is kind of the main part. The hook goes like this. The chords over that are F sharp minor, E, D, A. And there's a couple of times, depending on where that song may fall in a set, that I actually make capo on the second fret so that I can play an open A string, what would be an open A if there's a capo. And I'll play it. This will obviously not sound right because it's an open G right now, but I'll play it. And when that's an open A, that A is constantly ringing out throughout. But depending on where that song falls in the set, I may not have time to grab a capo, or I may just not want to. And so a lot of times I'm just playing like that, or I may throw an A note in there up high, like that. In the walkthrough, that's what I'm going to do. So that's like the intro, the turnarounds, that sort of thing. Verses, I'm kind of just playing some pretty simple two note voicings. The first verse goes like this. So same chords, F sharp, E, D, A. The second line is similar, but it changes the A shape. Same thing again. And then it finishes the verse this way. Like that. That's just an octave. Then it goes back into the turn. Verse 2 and verse 3, I do switch to a different patch. I switch to a patch that is a spring reverb and a very, very fast kind of slap delay. It sounds like this. And the part of for verse 2 and verse 3 is I'm just playing those chord voicings again, but I'm playing them in a different spot. So I'm playing, excuse me. And then at the end of the verse, I'll switch over to this other patch to kind of like give it a little tail as we go into the chorus. So that's verse 2 and verse 3. Use that very like slap spring sound, and then going into the chorus. Chorus is pretty simple too. The first half of the chorus is just chords, and then the second half is a little lick. So the first half is, and then when it gets to the all my heart, all my soul part, does a little lick. So again, the second half of that chorus for you again is, back into the hook. Verse 4, which is kind of the down verse, that he will return just as he said. I'm out the entire verse until the very last chord. I'll just swell in that last chord and hold it until we go back into the chorus. And then that last chorus just repeats a few times, but it repeats still on these chords. So I'll kind of just start down, just doing some diamond whole notes like that. And then as drums and basses have come in, I'll switch over to the bridge pickup and just kind of dig in a little bit more. And then the hook part of the chorus, at the very end of the song, it's the same, but it changes a little bit because the chords change as we do a tag. So it's still but it'll do this instead. That's the D, E, and then the turnaround. And then at the end of the turnaround, it just hits that chord and holds it. The only other thing I'll say about that hook in particular is after verse 3, I guess it would be, it does the hook 4 times rather than just 2. And then at the end of the song, it does it 4 times instead of just 2. And the only thing that I'll do in those moments is I'll kind of just do a little bit of improv, like just add a couple of notes as it feels right. So a couple of the ones that I tend to do a lot would be things like, or I might do just stuff like that. Just a little thing just to kind of give it something else to elevate that section in those parts. So that's all the parts for Holy is Our God, and now I'll play through it for you.
The death for which all sin demands, the sinless die for guilty men. And though we give our hearts to Him, He is our righteousness. Yes, He is. He is good. Sing of Christ Jesus, the Christ who took the sinner's place. He sings the symphony of grace. While Satan's lies of guilt abound, there's love here. The Savior's love resounds, yes. Holy, holy, know he will return just as he said. The day the graves give up their day, and I will bow face to the ground, yes, and I'll sing the sweetest sound.